Welcome to the Quantum Playground. This is BZ Rieger. And I challenge you. To the Wouldn't It Be Wonderful If thought form game. The game I'm talking about is something many years ago that I dubbed Wouldn't It Be Wonderful If game. When I was building up my creator being muscles and stepping into more of my abilities, more of my confidence. Okay, let's face it, doing the best I could to slash and eradicate all of the programming and mind games and churning. I started to play, and because it was either that or just be a puddle on the floor, pretty unhappy. So I started to play. And one of the things I created was what I called Wouldn't It Be Wonderful If? So I wasn't doing affirmations. I wasn't trying to catch or censor myself in how I was thinking. Forget about the meditating, because I tried to do that the way the book said and everything else, and I kept getting a failing grade, and that was just really not helping in expansion. Plus, it was just one more thing that, someone else external to me, or my ego mind, was glomming onto something external to me saying, see, can't do that right. Anyway, so I came up with a Wouldn't It Be Wonderful If game. And I played it with my two best buds at the time, my Labrador retrievers, Taza and Luna. And we used to go for walks every day. Usually one very, very long walk and then a shorter walk. So a couple miles the first of the day and then maybe half a mile later in the day. And I used to either go through the woods, the state forest, and speak with the trees and do this, or along the beach. And I would talk out loud, and I would be just on a riff, on an absolute, the word arpeggio comes to mind, of just playing and dancing with my giving voice to Wouldn't It Be Wonderful If? And I phrased all of the things that I wanted to create, or that if I was trying to turn what I didn't want into something that I did want, all of those things, and just would dance down the beach out loud, giving voice to all of things of Wouldn't It Be Wonderful If? And the labs happily bounding in the ocean and frolicking in the sand. They would get into it. They would love it. They thought it was pretty funny. Mom's on her Wouldn't It Be Wonderful riff again, and it's going to be a good long walk. And one of the reasons that I thought to play with this, and then saw very direct evidence how well this worked in clearing out programming, in having the really latent, buried programming, keyword phrases and such come up to the surface so I could see it, let it go, integrate it, was because using those words, Wouldn't It Be Wonderful If, bypassed the ego mind spinning. The subconscious mind, and again, all of those traps, the way I looked at it, that you tended to fall into when you were doing affirmations and those kinds of things. Because I wasn't wanting to create something. I wasn't saying I wanted. I wasn't saying I had something that, my ego said, well, no, you really don't have that, and you don't have anywhere close to that kind of stuff. I was just saying, wouldn't it be wonderful if? And I was imagining with no attachment, no thought one way or the other than wouldn't it be wonderful if? And I came into a place of fully and completely, vibrantly playing with that thought on all those different things in my mind. And if you heard me going down the beach, you'd think, well, that's a little odd. And then you think, well, that's kind of a happy sound. And then you think, well, what are the words of that song she's singing? And then you'd go, well, hang on, let's go for a walk with her. So that was the energy that the three of us created as we did this. And some of it could have been, on one level, thought as a pie in the sky sort of thing. But on a deeper energetic level, on a frequency vibrational level, I was generating that new frequency, that new signature from those words and all those emotions and all those feelings and all the colors. And there were such beautiful colors. I mean, if you were shooting a video, you would have seen all these kind of rainbows and bubbles, like on a cartoon of the thought bubbles or the dialogue bubbles over my head that were really cool colors and glowing and all that. And what I was doing with all of that frequency generation of a new vibration was pulling what I was playing with and letting it manifest into a thought form. So my challenge to you is, if you feel moved to do, is to begin to play into the Wouldn't It Be Wonderful game. And do it in the most fantastic, orgasmic, jazzing, zipping, skipping, whatever, coloring, whatever it is for you way to do this every day. And I challenge all of us to play with this in a coordinated cooperation effort of source, of originals, dancing with this Wouldn't It Be Wonderful If. And can you imagine, as the whole planet, some in this town, in that town, in this city, in that country, in this country, and all over this blue ball that we live in, Gaia, her beautifulness. So as these thought forms come into the whole consciousness on the planet, one person, 2, 20, hundreds, thousands, doing this so on and so on and so forth every day, and doing it in a setting that gives you happiness and peace and pleasure and just that quiet breath of love, then that grows and grows and grows. And then imagine, as you're doing it and playing with it, and you can actually see it and feel it and connect it, that each of those thought forms find each other in the ethereal and connect together and link up. And now before you know it, the world is blanketed with that, immersed and enmeshed with that, and there is cohesion of all those thought forms, the energetic frequency vibration of them and you, and that love pouring forth. All originals playing Wouldn't It Be Wonderful If, as we then pull that into physicality. So I challenge you to play Wouldn't It Be Wonderful If. We've got this. Let's do it. Much love.